Merry Christmas!
Hello, how are you? It's Rick Verb here for your hopefully annual holiday Halloween podcast for our toy drive over at Press Time. I think you probably close to know the deal by now. You know, you drop off a toy, that'd be great. We'd really very much appreciate it. We're here talking spooky movies every day of the work week for the month of October. Let's jump into this one. We got Barbarian.
Woo, Barbarian it was awesome. If you haven't seen it, you definitely need to go check that out. But I know everybody's following along, and if they are, they know this one is spooky and cool as hell. You got a girl showing up late at night. She needs
to
to
her
stay somewhere.
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Yeah, she's showing up at her Airbnb, except she's locked out.
So she's ready to give up. She's back in her car, and all of a sudden the light turns on. So she's like, "What gives?"
Yeah,
and
there's somebody.
She heads back up. A guy answers the door. There's been a mix-up.
One thing leads to another. He says they end up just being like, "Okay, I guess we'll both stay here."
Well, the problem is that the Airbnb has booked two separate people at the same time. So
yes, on two separate apps.
What would you do in that situation, Rick?
Man, it is really, really tough because he is creepy. He even though he's not trying to be. Obviously, that's the point of that whole sequence. But yeah, I feel like what I would do would, especially because he knows the area. You find out later that he's an investor in the area and all those things, and he knows that there's no hotel rooms available. I might do what he offers and just be like, you
can stay here if you want.
Yeah, you come in if you'd like. You stay in the bedroom, which has a lock on it. I'll take the couch. And like, this is probably the best we're going to do in this situation. What would you do?
It's already nighttime. Let's just get through tonight.
Figure it all out. It's the middle of the bleeding night.
It would be scary for the girl. I'm assuming she doesn't know this guy. She doesn't. And then the movie's really trying to drive.
He's a total goon.
Yeah.
Like, I think Buddy's like 6'5".
He's a big guy, and they want you. You don't know. He could be a nice fella just trying to help this girl out,
sure.
Or he could be a crazy guy that snuck in there maybe before she got there. You really don't know.
He does prove that to her when she asks for it. He shows on his app, "Hey, here's my name, here's my ID, here's all the stuff to prove that I actually did rent it."
Yeah. So she ends up staying. She's really like. Keeps to herself for a little bit, doesn't quite trust him. Then They start hitting it off. They know, They realize they got a lot of similarities, stuff that they're into. And so they have a good time. I think they actually even start to like each other a little bit.
I think so.
So that happens. And then the next day, she's taking a whiz. He's gone already. She realizes, I got no toilet paper.
Okay, for a second, I thought that you were just going to end it there. Like, she was taking a whiz the next day.
She was.
Like,
yeah, there was no teepee. There was no teepee.
Right.
She goes down to the creepy basement. She's looking for this. She sees a string. What are you going to do when you find a string sticking out of the wall? You're going to pull it.
You're going to pull it.
You're yanking it. You're yanking it. And you just keep pulling.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this new door opens, leading to just like some sort of weird, creepy room.
Yeah, it's like a weird hallway.
Just that alone would terrify the crap out of me, and I don't think I would go in there. Like I'd be like, I'm out of here,
dude.
Would you go in?
I kind of think I would. I swear, I really do think that, because she looks down there, she like shoots a light down there. She can kind of see that there's a room off to the left. I feel like I might check it out.
You would check it out. Maybe if I had a buddy. I don't think I would ever do it solo.
Yeah, but it would make me more comfortable that it was the daytime.
Yeah. Even Macaulay didn't like going down to the basement.
Oh, can you blame him?
It was his biggest fear, that fireplace.
Dude, that fireplace will eat you alive.
Absolutely. So she goes down there. She sees some crazy shit. What really spooks her the first time is she sees this room, and it looks like kind of a torture room. There's just an old school video camera and a bed. She sees a little bit of blood on the wall. So she's thinking something crazy has happened here, and that's enough for her. So she takes off.
Oh,
She's
yeah, I
waiting.
would flee the moment I see that, of course.
Oh yeah. So she gets
Not a
locked in the
good look.
basement, and she has no choice but to wait now for the other guy to return. And when
Yeah.
he returns, she's ready to go. She wants to get the hell out of there. He's not convinced. He wants to see more for himself. I don't know why. I would just believe her.
Dude, again, I don't think that he's saying that he doesn't believe her. I think he's just being like, oh my God, you saw a bed in an Airbnb? That's weird. I, dude, I truly think that if someone I just met, or if B or you or someone I know very well was like, dude, this is what I saw, I'd be like, I want to check that out. I think I would
Yeah,
go
I gotta
down
see for
again.
myself.
Yeah, dude, I think I would go down.
So you're saying there's a bathroom and a shower in the
In the Airbnb.
Airbnb?
Bizarre.
So they both go back down there and they find even more rooms, more hallways, more stairs.
Yeah, it's like some sort of, what are those called? Catacombs?
Yeah,
Is that what it's
yeah.
called? It's like
I
this
was gonna
weird mine shaft thing.
tunnel.
Tunnel, that's it. Yeah, it's a tunnel. It's like a staircase going deeper into the frickin' earth.
So they go down there. A woman jumps out. She's totally nude. She's been down there for God knows how long. Her nails are this long. Her hair's all wacky.
She totally nude.
She's been down there for a while. She attacks them, and right
Yeah.
off the bat, the dude gets his head smashed.
Yeah, he's toasted immediately.
And so this movie is awesome. And one cool thing, like that almost was like a climax to that little section of that part.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to a whole different story that eventually they're all going to intertwine together.
Yes.
But it goes to the next kind of chapter,
Mhm.
which we got our boy Justin Long shows up, which is cool.
Dude, I think that was extremely solid writing, because like it brings you right up to this moment, and then if the movie would have just continued on from that point, I think it would have been good, but
Yeah.
not like it. We needed that break, and for it to just boop, do this 180 flip onto this new story, and you're like, what is going on? Because the one thing I gotta say, if you haven't seen this movie, like you should stop watching this podcast for sure. But you should also go see it immediately. Damn it, I can't remember where I was going with that.
You just really want people to see it. And I like when you say you should go see it, you kind of sound like it's still playing at Seaway Cinemas. Like you're not going to see it there. You're going to have to
I don't know if it ever was.
You're going to have to hit up the old Disney Plus for that.
I think so, yeah.
So it cuts to Justin Long. He's cruising in a convertible, going down the highway, having a grand old time, playing music on it, listening to his radio full blast.
Yeah.
And so you find out that he's an actor, and he gets a call from his agents basically telling him, like, you're done. Your career's over. You've been Me Too'd, pal. We got you. We got you. We know all your shenanigans. He's in denial.
Yeah.
But the way that intertwines with the first story is that he owns the house that these people are in. And he's running out of money. Nobody will hire him anymore. So he needs to go back there to sell this property off just to have some cash.
Yeah, just have some cash to pay for all of his legal troubles. And yeah, when he gets there, you're like, oh, damn, this is the house. And he gets there and he starts to find, stuff from previous victims, like our fellow that we were talking about at the beginning who got smashed by the lady.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is, too, when he finds all these dark tunnels and stairs and all these creepy things under the basement, he sees the room with the camera.
Yeah.
He's not even freaked out. He's just so excited that the house has more square footage that he's just measuring everything up. Like he's just like, hell yeah, baby.
Yeah,
the next scene you see him on the computer on Google, he's looking up if you can sell square footage underground. Right.
Honestly, man, Justin Long did an absolutely fabulous job. Like, I know that he does get a lot of praise for this role because he just kills it. But man, he really, really does. Like he gives the movie this whole new fresh angle. Even though you absolutely despise this guy by the end of it, you learn how horrible he really is, which then kind of leads to the question I want to ask you. who is the Barbarian? And not to get totally off topic, because that could be a final question type thing, but that was the one thing I didn't understand off the hop. And especially once we started to get into the movie when I was in the theater, I'm like, why is it called Barbarian?
Yeah,
Obviously, one of these or more or all are doing very barbaric things.
right.
Who's like the Barbarian? Because I don't think
I
it's
think there
the
can be. I
lady
think
in the
there's
basement.
maybe
It's not
more
her.
than. I think maybe there's more than one. I don't think the barbarian though is the actual killer of the movie
No.
because she's there against her will. Justin Long is a bad dude who's completely in denial. Like he doesn't know that he doesn't think that he's trying to justify everything that he's doing.
Yeah,
He
I
is.
he knows.
You think so? He's one not willing to admit it.
Yeah, like all the stuff he's saying to his buddy in the club is like,
Oh, absolutely.
dude,
Yeah, yeah.
if
It's not even
someone's saying that to
questionable.
you, would you be
Like
like,
I
oh yeah, cool?
think you're guilty.
Yeah. I didn't mean to disrupt where you were going though with the story, because it was starting to
Oh,
really unfold there.
so
We're
I was
right
just
at the
saying that
moment
they're
where he was in the basement, kind of discovering the catacombs, the
right,
tunnels, if you will,
right,
and just kind of digging more into that.
right. So and this is a few weeks after the original story that we saw first.
Yes.
So that girl you find is still alive, and he gets tossed into a cage where she is, and that's where we really get to see who this woman killer in the house is. And you find out that it is just a woman who is just obsessed with babies. There's more to that. We can get into that, but I think we should talk about the third kind of story of this film, which will lead into that. If you
Right.
follow where I'm going.
Yes, I do. So, out of nowhere, again, there's a third shift in the story, just completely out of the blue, where it shows this dude who is, I can't remember exactly how it starts, but there's a dude who is basically spying on a woman who is in a grocery store. And this is set back. This is probably set in the 80s or something like that.
I think even further if you look
Even
at the
further?
cars, maybe. Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah, I think you're probably right. It's probably set further back than that. And then, so this guy is clearly stalking this woman. He finds out where she lives. Then he goes into his trunk, puts on a fake uniform of some sort of tradesman, goes to the door, and is like, hey, I got to check your water pipe. And she's like, come on in. And when he goes in there,
very trusting that woman.
yeah. I mean,
Different times.
I'm a bit of a bozo myself. I probably would have let that guy in too.
You're like my water heater? Yeah, get in here.
Well, I don't want it to be broken.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so he goes in there, and obviously you get the picture here. This dude unlocks the window. It doesn't show what unfolds there, but clearly he's up to no good. Later, it shows him into another store. Oh no, sorry, that's how it begins. He's in that store buying a bunch of baby stuff. Like
Right.
he said, I'm doing a home birth.
Yeah.
So obviously
He's
that
up to no
leads
good.
into the things that he's into.
So this gentleman is the original owner, it seems like, of
Yes.
the house that's
Yeah,
in the whole movie.
Mhm.
And what this guy's doing is kidnapping, I guess. He's abducting women, keeping
Yeah.
them in his house, forcing them to have babies with them
Yeah.
over and over again, which gives you the whole kind of inbred
Right.
person. And we're dealing with one woman who's still alive. He's alive, which is crazy, actually. He's off in his own little room just watching crazy videos of all the bad
Right.
things he's done. And so this woman who's killing everybody, she's been locked up her whole life. And the only thing that she has to watch is this video that is teaching you how to breastfeed your kid.
Right.
That's all she knows. That's the only show she's watched her entire life.
My
that's
goodness.
who she kind of thinks she is.
Right.
So she's got these people captured, and she just wants to be. She cares about them and wants to be their mom, but she is so frightening and loses her cool if you show any pushback whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. And then that kind of that's where Justin Long's character really enters the story, because at first it's almost just like building up who he is, how he owns the house, all these different things. But that's where he really gets introduced, because while he's down there investigating the tunnels, the mother, I guess we'll call her, she figures out Buddy's down here and starts pursuing him, catches him, and now we're in this big, huge chase where he's trying to get out of the house. She doesn't want him to leave, all these things. They end up getting out, but just barely getting out. And they kind of get saved by this guy like who just lives on the streets, and he knows all about what happened there. He like knows all the myths and the lore. He's an older guy. So he takes them and says, "Oh, don't worry, that lady never comes out here at night. The mother won't come for you. You're good." Boom! She comes from him, rips that guy's freaking head right off, decapitated. I think doesn't she?
I think so.
And then the hot chase goes on from there. And I one thing I think we should clear up that we didn't necessarily talk about earlier is so the girl who at the beginning was at the wrong Airbnb.
Yep.
She is the one who's still alive in the basement. We never said that. When she went down in the first point, she ended up getting captured by the mother, and then the mother has been mothering her for the last few weeks.
And she's kind of figured out the system, and she's trying to tell Justin Long, like, just go along with it. The mom's bringing down this gross bottle. And to be honest, it's like that part and the part where she actually has Justin Long in her room and is trying to breastfeed him is definitely the most like disturbing, memorable part of the movie. Like that's what people were talking about through the whole thing. You're like, how about that part where Justin Long is just you're like that is on everybody's mind.
Oh, buddy, no questions asked. I would have did it.
You have to.
But he didn't really do it. He like shies away from it.
Yeah, and that's why she got angry.
I know.
Baby dude, must eat. Baby.
I feel
that was creepy. That's all this woman said was baby.
Yeah, baby. Dude, I know, and I feel like sorry, you go ahead. I don't need to go into a side tangent about this.
So they do. It becomes kind of a chase at that point. Like, so Justin Long and the girl from the beginning are on the run. She's after them. They end up at like the top of the big tower. Maybe it's like a water tower or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's when you see Justin Long like, okay,
that's his
now
real true character coming out.
There's no question about it. You are a real shithead. So he throws the
as if you didn't already know that. This is like really sending it home.
So he tosses the girl kind of as bait off of the tower because he knows that the mother doesn't want her babies to get hurt. So she also jumps off, and they're both kind of like mangled on the bottom. And you think he's going to wait. They're not dead. Neither of them are dead at that point, are they? Eventually, the woman, the mother, gets Justin Long. And I found this really interesting because the kill was she picked him up. And just started with his eyes and just started poking out his eyes, which I just finished watching Jeepers Creepers 2. And that movie ends with Justin Long standing there with no eyes, like the demon had taken his eyes. So I'm like, oh, this has happened again. Oh, yeah. Justin Long. Guy can't keep his peepers for the life of him. But yeah, it was a big coincidence. And it was funny because in my head, I watched Jeepers Creepers first, and then I watched this, and I was like, holy shit, again, it's his eyes. It's his eyes. But then his whole head explodes, and I'm like, oh, that kind of there goes.
Dude, she splits his head open like a freaking head of lettuce. Just so cool.
So one crazy part, too, is that then that woman kind of tries to take care of the girl who fell off the water tower, and you can tell that she loves her. She doesn't want her to die. She's trying to get her back to the house, but the girl can't move. She's too damaged. And
too damaged.
I really should know this because I watched it 2 days ago, but does the mother take her own life at that point?
No. So after she splits Buddy's head like a freaking cabbage, then those two are kind of like the girl and the mother are having like a bit of a moment. And then I think they both know like now's my time. The mother knows like now's my time. And then the daughter essentially blows her away.
Gets her, yeah.
She gets her good.
And then we going cut to credits?
That's
right there. What happens?
Then it's just the daughter, if we'll call her that, is just walking away, and then it's just like she's just leaving the scene. And it's like, okay, she got out. But one of our printers at the shop brought up something very, very interesting that I did not think of until she said this to me. And I'm like, actually, that really would be cool. because she said that she's a little disappointed in the ending. Where I'm like, what are you talking about? That was great, and this is why. And I kind of agree with her. So in that, when they're talking to the guy who is, the street guy who ended up, befriending them a little bit, he was saying that that bad dude that was doing that to all those different people had lots of children down there, lots of different, because clearly the mother is one of his children.
Right.
And he apparently has lots of kids down there. So I was like, excuse me, our printer Jamie said, like, imagine if now that mother one was dead, all like a bunch more from the basement are now pursuing that girl to bring her back, and that's why
Oh,
she's running. I thought
it
that
didn't cross. It didn't
it
cross
didn't.
my
Oh,
mind
it didn't
once,
cross
but
my mind either. But I
it's
thought that, like,
interesting.
if you could hear like more of like the way that the mother talked, that kind of like mumbling, that stuff. If you could hear
Yeah,
that in the distance coming for you, I think that would be really spooky.
that would be. That would be. And then I don't think a sequel would ever happen,
No,
or you don't want it to happen. But I do
no,
like when movies end like that, where there's no like plan to make another one, but like
right? Yeah,
it
yeah,
leaves you being like, oh, it ain't over.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody else actually at the shop said that, where they're like, "No, you don't need to make it easy to do a sequel." I'm like, I wasn't thinking about it like a sequel. I was just thinking
Yeah,
that would just creep me out. And I'm like, oh, that would be effective. But overall, I think this movie is like top high level filmmaking. Um, I really, really loved it. I thought the writing was great. Everybody's performance was awesome. This was the most unpredictable movie I've seen in ages. Mind you, there was lots of people being like, don't watch trailers, know nothing about this movie, just go in,
just
watch the movie, which is
just hit it.
exactly what I did. And every time something happened, total shock. Like, what
Yeah,
was that about? What's
yeah.
all like? It just kept doing it. So it was so much fun to watch. And I think me and you have even touched on this in some of our other pods about some of the spooky stuff. Is that sometimes I feel horror forgot. Sometimes I feel that horror forgot that it's supposed to be fun as well as scary. Like those chills and thrills are supposed to happen while you're having a good time. Not in
Yeah,
all of them, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say every movie needs to be fun, but it's cool when a scary movie also was like pure enjoyment to watch. Because some of
yeah,
them are just can be a little grueling or
for sure.
whatever,
This
but
one, this one
this one's
takes
just
you
fun.
on. It takes you on a serious ride. Like there, you could watch one 3 hour movie where you're like, you know what, this is too long.
Yeah.
But you can watch another one that just like nails it, and you're like, I don't want
Oh,
this thing to ever end. I don't know if this one was that long, but you were entertained from the start to finish. You
start
were
to
invested.
finish. Oh yeah,
I thought it was awesome too. And you're right, it's one that like okay, everyone's telling you that it's good, but you don't know that it's going to be
that
that good
good.
when
Oh
you're
yeah,
when you go in.
for sure.
And for that, I'm going to give it a 9.2.
I am gonna give it a 9.2.
Nine
And the
point two.
and the reason why I'm rating it slightly higher than Hereditary, because I think I gave Hereditary maybe a 9 or something like that.
Yep.
The reason why I rate it slightly higher is because I feel both are pretty neck and neck on like a filmmaking side of everybody's performance, all the things that they did. Maybe Hereditary is a little bit of a higher level in that regard. Both have amazing writing, but the reason why I put it slightly above is just because of the unpredictability. I'm not saying I seen everything coming in Hereditary. I'm just saying in Barbarian, I had no effing clue, dude. I
And
was
you've never
like,
really seen anything like it.
totally, yeah. Like it was like somebody made a truly original piece of art that kicked total ass.
Total ass.
Yeah.
I think you
9.2
liked it.
is all right. Yeah, I liked it a lot.
This one's going to be a hard one to beat.
Dude, yeah, for sure. There is one on the list that
We still are
is,
going to be ripping through some serious good ones, so you
dude, for
never know.
sure.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, there's one on the list that is very, very ranked highly for me, but I don't think it will beat Barbarian. I don't know. I'll see on the day.
You don't know.
I
All
don't
right,
even
man.
know
Well, this
anymore,
has been
man.
another great one.
Uh-huh.
Real great one. We gotta really work on those send-offs.
Yeah, it's agreement. It was another good one.
Absolutely.
Uh,
And everybody remember to hit up the Ho Ho Halloween party at Press Time Design. It is going to be a great friggin' time.
yes, also, if you cannot make it and you would still like to donate, there is an Amazon link. I don't exactly know. I'm sure we'll post that in, like, below the vid, where you can click on that, where if you want to just give something, even if it's something small, you totally can. Or you don't have to either. But I'm just saying, if you want to, you can click that link and give a little Amazon thing.
Richard, what do the kids like these days? What kind of toys are people after?
Oh, buddy, I have no clue. No
we
clue.
talking we talking Tickle Me Elmo still? They're kicking around or
My son got one, but he didn't love it.
vintage. I don't think you
Yeah.
can find those anymore.
I
But
don't know. No, it was brand new. He's
what do
still
you
out there.
what are you going to dress your little guy up for Halloween this year?
I personally want to dress him up as Dr. Lecter. I think it'd be perfect.
Ooh,
He's got long
that
enough
would be
hair. We
badass.
slick his hair back perfectly, draw on the mask. He'd be killing it. Put him in a nice white t-shirt.
Oh,
But
that would be amazing. It's really good for the first couple years when you get to choose because
yeah,
that it comes to an end real fast.
right.
You want him to go out as Mike Myers and they're saying butterfly and your say don't matter no more. You got
Well,
him.
my say doesn't matter now because this year he's going out as an elephant.
An elephant. Ever
Yeah.
nice.
He does
Ever
look very cute in the suit. It's like this face with these huge ears, but so I get it. But like, come on, Dr. Lecter would be great.
beauty.
We
Well,
should
are
uh,
you
we
gonna
should
be
review that one next year. Can we do
which
Silence
one
of
are
the
we
Lambs
talking?
next year?
Yeah. Didn't make the list this year.
That one's a banger, dude.
Bang.
Banger. Have a great day,
All right, you
everyone.
crazy, scary, spooky fellas.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, okay?
Sweet
Goodbye.
dreams.